Welcome, everyone, to the Flower Files podcast sponsored by Wildly Native Flower Farm. Here, everyone is welcome to talk with fellow flower lovers, including real perspectives from the farm, the flowers, and me, the florist.
From the messy day-to-day operations down to the details and even business perspectives, this podcast has a little bit of everything to keep it real. We know that life can get crazy and we don't always have the time to spend on what we love, so we are here to help you take a little time to indulge in nature. I'm Liza Getz.
I'm Lizzie Frey, and we are the team that makes this podcast. Every once in a while, we have a couple guests. This business thing and what we are working with is called life.
Join us as we walk you through how to think outside the box, talk from the farmer's perspective, have honest conversations about florals, and how to run, well, life. So listen in.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, in the podcast section, and any of your other podcast platforms. You can also find us online at wildlynativeflowerfarm.com, and in an easy way, you can look in the show notes, and all of the information will be right there for easy access for you guys.
Details. It's part of our everyday life. But have you ever thought of all the detail work that goes into weddings? The devil is in the details, but nothing could be more true for the line of work that we do. Seeds starting with the right growing conditions? Detail. Flowers blooming on time? Detail. Right number of candles when a last minute change is made to go on a table? Detail. The correct number of personal flowers delivered to that third location? Definitely a detail. And maybe there's one specific type of specialty flower ordered to represent a special person, a loved one. That's definitely a detail. And if you think outside the box for a minute, picture cooking in the kitchen, and you accidentally mix up the salt and the sugar in a recipe, you suddenly look down and realize it. That feeling? Yeah, you get the picture. Truly, the details matter. This week's podcast focuses on those little details that we make sure to cover every single event, every single time. Make sure you check in. I think you'll be surprised to hear a few of them. Flower friends, welcome back to the Flower Files, where we bloom into the behind the scenes of floral life, design, and business. I'm your host, Liza, and today we're pulling back the veil, literally, on what it really takes to book a wedding, how our process sets us apart from the floral flock, and if you've ever wondered how florists juggle dozens of weddings, emails, design briefs, timelines, and flowers, you're in for a treat. So let's start off with this first section where we talk about a wedding experience. Because let's be real, in the wedding industry, it's easy to get caught up in templates, cookie cutter florals, and packages. But here at Wildly Native, we believe your flowers should feel, well, they should feel like you. And whether that's coastal boho, wildflower whimsy, or classic garden elegance, your wedding should really reflect what you want. So here's what sets us apart from other experiences. My first question, whenever I talk to someone, I always ask them to tell me their story. My first step isn't just, what are your colors? Show me your vision, share your Pinterest. No, it's how did you meet? I want to know your story. This is honestly some of my favorite parts of meeting new people. And I want to know, what's the feeling? What kind of celebration are you dreaming about? How did you get engaged? All of those things go into helping me understand you and your vision for the day. One of the other things that sets us apart from some other florists is we only take on a limited number of weddings. And that means every couple gets our full creative energy, and it's not just a rushed replication. There is no FTD. We actually don't do FTD orders on purpose. because we don't grow those kinds of flowers and we don't have that kind of business model. It's just not what we do. And we use primarily flowers that are grown by us. That gives us flexibility, seasonality, a unique feel, and quite honestly, as I've talked about in other episodes, all of those environmental impacts are so different by what we do compared to how other folks truck their florals in from far away. It also takes some of the stress out of the picture because if we know we need blue, we can walk out in the field and look and figure out what we need and how we need. And many brides book far enough in advance that we can plant and time things correctly. So let's talk a little bit about the booking process in itself. It's kind of like the calm before the floral storm. It's not just dreamy petals and Pinterest boards. It's also super clear communication. And here's how a booking journey with us usually flows. Normally, there's an inquiry form that's filled out. A couple will fill out a short form on our website with some wedding basics, date, venue, and the general vibe. That helps set the groundwork for future communications and, quite honestly, seeing if we're a good match right out of the gate. Plus, making sure we have that date available. We then hop on a phone call to get to know each other a little bit better. I'm not just checking boxes, I'm seeing if our styles and values align. And I want to make sure it's really important that all of these pieces met and fix. It has to work. After listening to all of the descriptions, I sit with my floral team and then we send a personalized, detailed floral proposal, including the inspirational photos, itemized costs, and our vision based on our conversation for your day. Once a couple is then in love with the proposal, the flowers, and us, they sign and submit a deposit. It's pretty basic, pretty simple. We have a lot of flexibility still built into that. So as folks are getting closer and closer to their date, they can still make adjustments. RSVPs come back, you anticipate having 25 tables, but it's really 26 or 24. There's still wiggle room in there, and we have it set up with checkpoints and questions along the way in order for everything to flow smoothly. I never want to be that vendor that you book and then you don't hear anything from for weeks. I almost feel like it's rude and it doesn't actually mean that you care if you're not reaching out at all until like 2 weeks before the event. So over time, we have developed these little emails to touch base along the way with tips and tricks that we have found. Things for the bride to think about, like, do they plan to press their flowers? Do they plan to resin their bouquet? What do they plan to do with their flowers at the end of the night? We then provide a list of recommendations based on their responses so that we have communication clear and the whole vision is smooth. Even little teeny tiny details. We have a design meeting, we have a questionnaire that goes out to go through simple things. Closer to the date, we schedule that deeper design meeting to confirm all of the logistics. That way, everyone is on the same, dare I say, petal. Little things like ribbon color, is it trailing or tightly wrapped? Anything extra we should plan to include in their personal flowers, for example. Sometimes there's lace from a grandmother's or mother's wedding dress that they want incorporated in. There's been lots of pins and brooches, and there's a lot of really neat family traditions that we've been able to see and have little parts of. And those are some of those fine details that really we want to make sure are perfect. And if they have that pin or brooch, how are we getting it to incorporate it into the florals? Who will have it the day of? Touching base with the planner about, for instance, there's a memorial chair. Is it on the left, on the right, the first, the second? Like, all of those things are so important. Once we have all of those things complete, we triple check the final counts of everything down literally to the last votive candle to make sure everything is spot on. So how do we do this? Contrary to what some of you already know about us, we may use a few post-it notes from time to time. And I prefer a good blue pen over a black pen, just saying, or a purple marker. But planning a wedding can feel like you're herding butterflies. It doesn't matter if you're a florist, photographer, or other service-based vendor. It all takes a ton of work to put together. And forgive me for sounding like an advertisement, but that's why we use HoneyBook. And it's actually kind of our behind the scenes superhero. HoneyBook helps us keep everything in one place. It's a pipeline for us to have our inquiries, proposals, contracts, payments, timelines, questionnaires, boom, everything is right there. There's also a really great place in HoneyBook for us to have notes. So we don't have to have as many post-it notes, but right there in the contracts and proposals in that person's personalized space, Pinterest boards, inspiration pictures, notes, things, little things that maybe the day of, if we see the groom, we can joke with him about little things to help us remember to really make sure that it's a personalized experience. And you can share it with your team members. So your team members can have access to edit, or they can have access to just view. So the people who are setting up day of, the people who are doing things correctly, you want to make sure that they have full access to all of the pieces. You can also download proposals. There's so many things that you can do with it. One of the other aspects of it is you can send proposals that are branded along with the invoices, and it really makes the couples feel like they're being taken care of. You've got automated email settings in there, and that way no one's wondering, did I miss a step? Did I not miss a step? One of the other parts that I really like about HoneyBook is if I send an email, there's a little envelope in the corner, a little icon. And if the envelope looks like it's been opened, it means that that email has been read. If that email hasn't been read, that envelope stays closed. So it helps me see if one of my potential brides or current brides has opened an email. If they haven't, then it helps me follow up and check and see, is it spam? Is it not spam? Like, how is it marked? It gives me a conversation point, and it gives me peace of mind knowing, hey, I need to follow up with this or not. I never want to be that pushy in your face person. You can track bookings, you can track your follow-ups, you can set reminders, and that way we don't drop the bouquet on any of our details. It's super streamlined, it's professional, it's honestly a lifesaver, especially during peak season when you have maybe 3 or 4 weddings on a weekend, one on a Friday, 2 on a Saturday, one on a Sunday, and you're trying to keep everything straight. So if you're a floral pro and you haven't experienced HoneyBook, I highly recommend it. It's definitely worth every penny. And I am so excited to share with you guys that HoneyBook has a special offer for you, our trusted friends and listeners. You get 30% off. 30. Seriously, not 10, not 20, not 15, not 25, 30% off. Use the code that's listed in the show notes and you'll get 30% off. Trust me when I tell you, it's so worth a try and so much better than Google Drive and trying to keep all of the pieces organized, which is kind of where I was before I had HoneyBook. The other thing about HoneyBook that I really, really like is it's affordable. Let's be honest, we are running a business and we're looking to make money. So using this saves me time, but it doesn't break the bank to have access to it. And to me, that's really important. Lots of different softwares, lots of different applications, but really, really important that it makes sense. So why does this matter? So why do I sound like a commercial today? Because I certainly don't mean to sound like a commercial, but why does it matter? Your booking process isn't just administrative work. It's your first impression with a potential client. And in the world of weddings, in the world of business, in the world of anything that is related to customer service, that impression, that first impression, it should feel warm because it adds to really being genuine, and people don't feel processed. There's nothing worse than feeling like you're processed after you walk away having a meeting and thinking you're just a number in their business. Honeybook makes it easy for us to be personable. It saves our planet as well, maybe just one sticky note at a time. But it also helps us be trustworthy. When things are sent out on time, are professional and streamlined, you look professional. And even on those days where the behind the scenes life is a little crazy, it helps you stay together. Brides are nervous. They don't do this. Well, they don't technically, they shouldn't do this ever before and ever again. But that's a whole separate podcast topic. So you need to be the professional because less stress means more trust. This whole process also helps us be clear. Super clear emails, streamlined process, gather data, keep notes, and a good spot for your inspo pics. I know I've talked about that. Little things that they would love to have included, like a specific type of flower or a flower that they don't like, can all be tucked in and it's all together. And more time that I'm not in the office, that I'm out to be in the field, that my team can be creative, flowers are art. Some folks love these creative works of organic style florals that look like you just gathered a bouquet from the field. Others, they like more structure. Think of a basketball on a stick. Extreme descriptions between the two styles, but those are various forms of creative perspectives. So when couples work with us, they don't just get florals, they get peace of mind. And I want to share that with you as business people, as other folks who are doing things like this. So your customers will know that they're in good hands with a team of communication, plans ahead, shows up with flowers and intentions. I personally have heard so many times folks will tell me at the end of a call, I'm so glad I can check this off my list of to-do things. And that makes me feel good. So whether you're a florist refining your process, a creative professional looking to grow their business and worried about how to scale properly and efficiently, remember this: your systems are part of your brand. Clarity is kindness, and a little organization can let the creativity truly bloom. So, thanks for joining me today. If this episode sparked ideas, if you want to peek at how we do things, send us a DM or follow along at Wildly Need a Flower Farm. And hey, I know you guys know this, but if you love the episode, give us a follow, tap that like button, and share it with a flower loving friend, or post about it on your social. Those are all things that are free and help us. Every listen, every share helps us keep growing this beautiful little podcast garden, and we appreciate you more than you know. Until next time, my friends, keep growing with love.
Hey guys, just dropping a line to tell you about Patreon.
So I asked them, meaning Mom and Amber, what is Patreon anyway? Because I honestly had no idea. So we're going to explain it to you from our perspective so that you understand and so that I understand.
Because the first time I saw it, I was like, Patron, we're drinking tequila? Great. So Patreon is for less than a cup of coffee, those fancy coffees that y'all like, a day, you can sign up to become one of our members.
A little family.
Exactly. And what does that get us?
It gets us some freebies, some special episodes that other people do not get access to. You can interact with us on a special platform where we can ask you questions and interact with you. It's tons of fun.
And even on those special episodes, we might be less censored than we are already. And we're going to have a couple fun ones that we can just kind of throw in there and talk about and laugh and go on tangents and have fun. So I hope that you all enjoy it because we're going to have fun along the way. We're crazy excited.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Back to the episode now.
Yeah.
Bye.
Gracias.